Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. One lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most Formula One circuits, will take our drivers round 3.1 miles of track. 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 to the left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Hamilton, Russell, Zhou, Albon, Bottas, Ocon, Hülkenberg, the owner driver, Sargent, Magnussen, Gasly and Kamui Kobayashi. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we usually see.
I know you're frustrated to be this far back on the grid, but you've got to keep that under control. Keep a cool head and work your way through the field gradually as you go. It's not all going to be won or lost at the first corner.
Rude. Anyway, hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome to this evening's live stream. And tonight we're playing F1 24. It's the Equal Car Championship, 100% races. This is round 3 out of 18. This is Imola. For the Imola or Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, we have a 100% sprint race ahead of us and a 100% main event ahead of us. So I think there's, I want to say there's 23 laps in the sprint. Don't quote me on it. And 63 in the feature. And this will be the last Equal Car Championship race of 2024. With the series resuming in 2025. And I look forward to resuming it in the new year. But for now, we've got one more race until we go into the new... We got one more sprint, one more race before we go into 2025, where the series will resume for the 15 further races that are in it. Right, let's get this sprint underway. It's 21 laps, not 23. And there is rain forecast, so that's why I've elected to start on soft tyres. And we're underway here, and it's a decent start. Hülkenberg has really not got away well. I'm trying to find my way through and thread through on the inside. Bottas has got the inside line there. It's pretty much covered. I'm trying to find a way to squeeze through, but there's no way through there. Bottas covering well, but we are up from 16th to from 18th to 16th. So we've gained 3 places on this opening lap, and it doesn't look like it's going to rain. It does look a bit overcast. I didn't even know Ocon was on my left, and that's his bodywork going everywhere. I am so sorry. Oh, Ocon stopped. Ocon has stopped. Are we going to see a safety car for that? Oh, I did not expect him to be there. I was just moving across to try and avoid Bottas, and Ocon was just there, so I am so sorry. That's my fault entirely. Lack of spatial awareness as we try and send it down the inside of Bottas, and we have got that move done, and we move up to P15. Oh, I'm so sorry for what happened with Ocon there. That was my fault entirely. Ending the first lap. It looks like late afternoon in evening time here at Imola. Piastri sets the fastest lap. He's leading the way, and it's quite nice that it's not Verstappen leading for once, as now we attack Zhou Guan Yu for P14. We're going to try and go around the outside, but the problem is I don't want to brake late and smash into Hamilton, and Zhou was quite close. So this is the one difficulty of Imola, overtaking. It's very, very difficult to overtake round here. And I think it's going to very much depend on strategy to move us forwards. Which Red Bull is that in second? I know Perez started in front, and it is actually Perez, so Verstappen is still in the pack. Lap 2 of 21. If I'm going to make this work, I want to move forwards quickly and not really settle into this one, because obviously we're expecting inclement weather, and that was the look up the inside that I didn't necessarily want to do. Bottas is now right there behind me, and Zhou right now doing a good job of holding the position, although someone was backed up there. I think Albon went wide into the chicane, and that backed everything up, and I've now got a run on Bottas down the inside of the left-hander. We've moved up a position, but Albon definitely going deep, and Sergio Perez setting the fastest lap of the race. Now I think both of me and Hamilton here have a chance at getting past Albon. Hamilton's got past. I wonder, can I get them both? Can I get them both? Late braking. Yes, we can get them both. Oh, that was a cheeky little move, that. That was a cheeky little move. That was, well, that was just simply chef's kiss, that. That is the kind of overtake we needed to do early on in this sprint. And now is the time to settle into a little bit of a rhythm if we can. We've still got 19 laps to go, and the threat of rain does still loom on this.
In just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
So there we go, rain in just over 10 minutes. So these tyres probably will not last 21 laps, so I am quite dependent on rain to make this work. Meanwhile, we have got quite clear of Hamilton now, so we've got ourselves into our own little space here. Perez does an 18.3, that's a good lap. Leclerc does an 18.3. We do an 18.6, so that's not too bad. But now we're in clear air, so we should be able to pick up the pace of it. Hamilton has dropped outside of DRS, which is crucial for us, but it's also crucial for us that we keep pushing. Now I see people in the chat. Hello, do make yourselves known if you are in the chat. I will read the comments as and when I can. Obviously this is a difficult game to read chat comments, but I will glance across every now and then and try and read your comments as best I can. But if you are there, do make yourselves known, do say hey, and have a mingle with each other. This is a friendly place here. This is a safe space for everyone to have a bit of a chat, so don't be afraid to mingle with each other.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 2.2 seconds.
I tell you what, I'm catching the battling pack ahead very quickly, which suggests that they are battling quite intensely. Piastri and Perez completing another lap. I have a feeling this might be a fastest lap, you know. I have a feeling. Hey Tash, thank you for joining the stream, even though you're literally sat in the next room. But yeah, this pack is battling quite intensely. I've just done an 18.3 now, so I'm set a PB. But I am catching this pack, and I do think at this stage it is to do with the tyre advantage, because I'm on softs and they're on mediums, but that advantage is not going to last, so it'll be a good idea to move forwards while I can. If I can score points in this sprint, this would be the first sprint race that I've grabbed points in this Equal Car Championship, so it'd be nice to grab some points in a sprint race too. We haven't yet done that. The last couple of sprints have been unqualified disasters, so I don't think in Brazil we moved that far forwards, and in Spa I took damage very early on, fell to the back of the pack, and as a result the race just did not get going from there, so
lapping around a second faster than the car ahead. Keep this up.
Right, a little bit of background then if you're new to this championship. It's 18 races selected at random. I did 17 in last year's game, and I enjoyed doing it so much I thought, what the hey, I'm adding an 18th race. So we've got 18 rounds this season. It's 100% races. Every single race has a sprint and a feature race. All cars are set to equal performance, hence the name Equal Car Championship. So the only thing different is the drivers. The drivers have to make the difference because everything is equal. So it's all down to the drivers' stats and who the best of the best is. And at the moment, well, it's not really surprising that Verstappen is dominating this season so far. It was quite a close fight last season, but there were a lot of mistakes made by myself, which really cost me. So in this season, I'm hoping less mistakes, less DNFs, because I think it was 3 DNFs in the end, and a couple of races where I didn't maximise due to collisions with other cars. So I'm hoping for less mistakes this time round. But yeah, that's the basic concept. 100% races, sprint with every race, 18 rounds. The calendar is in a random order and the tracks were selected at random. And that's how this works. So now you're up to speed with that. Right.
There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it.
I mean, Hamilton's been dropping back every lap for a while now. It's not just something that started. And I've noticed now it is starting to cloud over a bit. We're on lap 7 of 21, so we're about a third of the way through this sprint race. And I've yet to really see a major sign of rain on the way. But it does appear to be coming, and it is starting to cloud over a little bit. But now I'm stuck in this train of cars, and ideally I would like to start moving forwards. I'm just trying not to hit anyone. So that would be the worst thing to do. Like I said, this could be the first time I secure points in a sprint race. So
okay, we're approaching the pit
let's keep that target in mind. And obviously the softs are going to start wearing soon, so I want to try and move forwards quickly. But if the rain does come, it's going to make things interesting, especially with tyres. You can gain so much time just by being on the right tyres at the right time. Now we're stuck in a bit of a DRS train here, and it's quite a long DRS train, but that makes overtaking extremely difficult. Not to mention the fact that Imola is already quite an exceptionally difficult track for overtaking anyway. Although I tell you what, if I can set this one up, I might have to have a look at Russell down the inside here. It's going to be a bit of a risky send, but we're going to take that risk. And are we going to get the move done? Yes, we do. Problem is, I've lost DRS to Ricciardo, and that might make me a sitting duck to George Russell when we get on the straight. So saving as much battery as I can. But I think the reality is here, Russell is just going to absolutely blast past me. Clouding over all the more here. The weather is rolling in. And speaking of rolling in, is George Russell going to roll past? He's not really showing signs of going for it. And in the end, surprisingly, he just doesn't go for that. But we are up another place now, up into P11. And we're just free outside the points. Rain is coming, and I need it to come fast because I think the soft tyre advantage that we had early on is starting to wear out. And it's in little decisions and calling the weather and reading the weather that can really gain you positions. If we pit a lap early, but it's the right call, we can literally leapfrog quite a few cars here. We're starting to catch up to Alonso and Ricciardo now. Definitely giving those curbs as hard of a clobber as I can. And also just using a little bit of overtake to try and get into the DRS zone. I think I was just about in it there. I'm not overly sure. Either way, Russell has dropped back out of DRS threat himself. So Russell now no longer a threat, and I didn't manage to stay in DRS. It's now telling me to box, but I'm going to ignore that for now and keep going because the tyres still feel good to go. We're on lap 10 of 21, and for sure it's now looking like that rain is imminent. And this rain is going to absolutely change this sprint. So when we had last season's game, the results of the sprint determined the order of the grid for the race. We haven't got that with this season's game because they've added in the sprint quali format as someone's had a big blow up in front. I can't see who that is. That's Yuki Tsunoda out. But as I was saying, as everything really backs up and the rain starts to fall, I've actually forgotten what I was saying now, but yeah, so you don't have the grid lining up in order of how they finish the sprint now. So this championship works on random grids for both races. So, and the rain is starting to fall here. It's absolutely pouring down at this stage now. So what is the decision to make? Stroll and Alonso are having a battle up ahead. I don't want to get caught up in that, and I don't want to hit Daniel Ricciardo. It looked like Stroll and Alonso came close to contact there, and the rain coming down quite hard. I don't think it's going to be very long before we change tyres. I'm already starting to slide and struggle.
Stay alert out there.
And they're saying 10 minutes to go until the rain eases. Right. So if this rain is going to ease, is it worth sticking it out? Well, the tyres would last. But no, look, the track's already getting wet. And I wonder, should I have pit that lap? Should I have pitted in the lap before?
Okay, you're in the top 10.
Oh, the track is getting wet. The rain is really coming down. I'm not going to stick it out because it wouldn't be worth it. If the track gets too wet, you just lose lots of time and already struggling. And Russell's found grip from somewhere because he's just got back past me. I'm going to have a look down the inside. No, that's not even... Well, I'm going to try and do it anyway. That's a bit of a send. That's an aggressive send on Russell. No, this is it. This is where you come in. Surely this is where you have to come in. And that's what we're doing. We're pitting in now for a set of intermediate tyres because the rain has come. Look at that. There's Ferrari stacking up in the pits there. There's quite a lot of cars that are stacking up. I should have pit the lap before, really, but we didn't have the hindsight to do it. Well, we're held up here, but now we're away. We're behind Carlos Sainz Jr. I don't know where he was in relation to us before the stops, but that's kind of irrelevant now. The rain has arrived and it's absolutely lashing it down here at Imola. So this could get interesting going forwards. Oh, I'll tell you what, Sainz did not have the confidence to push straight away on those tyres, and we've got quite a bit of confidence. Oh, a little look there, but nothing in doing. And there are some that are confident to push in the early stages, some that are not. And I've got quite a bit of confidence here. We're running in P13. And the circuit is definitely wet enough now for the intermediate tyres. I wonder then where this is going to shake us out. So I do think that going on the soft tyres worked. So I think if we hadn't, we might have been racing Hamilton and co. I mean, we'll never know now where we would have been, but now we're all over the back of Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari, and I have a feeling we might be able to nip him on the straight. I wonder how many drivers stayed out. I think Leclerc's just driving away into the distance there. And we might have a run on Sainz. It's going to be difficult, but we might have a run on him. In fact, we have got a run on him. Sargent's in. A couple of other cars are in. Right, so this is for a single point now. The stakes are raised. I'm braking as late as I dare. Sainz gives me the room, sees me coming, and we move up into a points-paying position. But I'm not done there. We're going to keep going. The circuit getting wetter quite rapidly as this rain continues to fall. And I'm finding confidence in spades now as we start chasing after Daniel Ricciardo in P7. It's definitely been one of the more action-packed sprints we've had during this series, that's for sure. And I'm happy to bring you a sprint which has got plenty of will-to-will action in it. Now we must catch up to Daniel Ricciardo, and I'm finding the confidence just to go absolutely ham here. We've got 8 laps to go, and I'm currently sat in P8. I'm going after P7, going after Daniel Ricciardo. There is a chance of points. Now, there's only 10 minutes of rain. So, how quickly is this rain going to pass? 10 minutes on lap 11. That sounds like it will stop around lap 17, 18. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll have 3 laps where the track starts drying. But it's quite wet at the moment as we try and hunt down Ricciardo. Why did Lando Norris pit? Why did Lando Norris pit? That's unexpected. But that moves us up into 7th now, so that's another point that's coming our way here. 2 points in this sprint so far. We haven't scored in the sprints yet, but so far, so good. We're looking at scoring 2, potentially 3 if we can get past Ricciardo. And then we've got Alonso ahead of him. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like right now we're quite quick. So I also feel like the sky is brightening up a little bit now. And the rain, which seemed quite intense a moment ago, doesn't seem to be getting the circuit much wetter than it already is. And in fact, I'm setting Daniel Ricciardo up for the move already. Here we go, Ricciardo's going to cover. He isn't going to be able to stop me though, as we sweep round the outside, get that move done, up into P6. This is a nice drive. Next up is Alonso, and then it's series leader Verstappen. And if I can start taking points away from Verstappen, that'd be good for us. We haven't had many great finishes so far. I think we got 6th in Brazil, and we got 3rd in the feature race in Spa. So if we could get onto the podium here again, that'll help us out. I would like to grab the position on Alonso. Ricciardo's trying to come back at me down the straight, but no way through there. And I just have the confidence at the moment in these conditions to push hard. And I tell you this much, I'm quite quick in these conditions, and we're catching Verstappen quite rapidly.
Water is draining okay. I think the intermediate is going to stay the tyre of choice for a while yet.
And it is, and the engineer is suggesting that even though there is quite a bit of water on, even though the conditions are getting better and are looking to get better, there's still quite a bit of water on the circuit, which there is. Meanwhile, I'm getting ready to set up Fernando Alonso, but it won't be here. It won't be here. I'm way too far back. It's going to have to be into 1, or it's going to have to be into the double left. There's quite a bit of water on the circuit now, though, so it is pretty wet. And I think even if the rain eases off now, it's going to stay wet till the end. Right, here we go. This is Fernando Alonso. Can we get the run? We're about 4 tenths out, and we've got a nice little slipstream brewing on the double world champion. Alonso will cover the inside, will go to the outside, brake later, sweep round, and that is P5 for us. Now we're hunting down Max Verstappen for 4th, and if we can get the position off of Verstappen, I'll be happy. And I tell you, like I said, I've got the confidence, and we are faster. And Verstappen doesn't seem to have an answer. I've made a bit of a boo-boo there, which has cost us several tenths. Don't chuck it away now, Joe. We've got good points here. Even if I finish 5th, I'll be happy. So I don't really want to throw it off the road chasing Max. But at the same time, if I can take some points off him, it would be good. But oh, again, off the circuit, it's very difficult. And in these conditions, it's oh so easy to just throw it off, making a simple error. And that's not what we want to do here. Yes, I'd love to catch Verstappen, but that's not going to happen, I don't think. I think at this stage, after making a couple of mistakes, it may be 2 to 1 order, but we still got 5 laps to go, so I am going to give it my best shot. But I don't want to throw it off the road. The circuit getting even wetter now. And we're not far off full wet territory here, but I'm not going to gamble on that one. The rain was supposed to only be 10 minutes, so it was supposed to be a short shower, but it's really got wet here. And we are... Well, Verstappen is now pushing to try and get after Piastri, but I think Verstappen's a little bit alarmed by some of the pace I've had. We do have Alonso and Ricciardo all over the back of me, but Verstappen is starting to clear off now, so I think as the circuit's getting wetter, I'm starting to struggle with it a little bit. What's the tyre wear at? Not too bad, just not really tyre wear, it's just where the circuit's got that bit wetter. I'm starting to struggle with finding where the grip is, and that's, well, it's ballpark for Verstappen really, isn't it?
Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
So we are getting close to that full wet territory now, just looking at the circuit. But I would not gamble on that. Namely because I think the rain is going to ease soon. It looked like it was brightening up at one stage, but if anything...
The forecast suggests the rain's going to be lightening up over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. You should start finding more grip as we clear the standing water.
It did look like it was brightening up at one stage, but if anything, the rain's got a little bit heavier, and now we're at a stage where we're approaching close to wet territory. And also, I've noticed that we've started closing back up on Verstappen, so I'm starting to refine my rhythm here after a couple of mistakes. And Verstappen's 4th place might be under threat, so we're definitely starting to find some pace. And Alonso and Ricciardo have now dropped back. We got 3 laps to go after this one. Lap 18 of 21. I think Verstappen's getting a move on because he wants to catch Piastri. But I still half fancy a chance at catching the world champion. And of course the reigning equal car champion. He looked a little wobbly there, did Verstappen. And Perez now, I don't know, Perez, who looked so fast early on, he doesn't look quite so quick. Oh, if only there were about 10 more laps in this race, maybe I could have the lot of them. Unfortunately, there's 21 laps. But we are getting closer to Verstappen. And it'd be awesome to just outscore him here. And then we've got Piastri, and I think that's Leclerc in second, challenging Sergio Perez. Oh, that was too close to the back of the Red Bull there. I thought that was tears then, but no. having to be so careful that I don't smash into the back of him. But Verstappen is right there, and for the first time in this championship this season, he looks vulnerable. Verstappen looking vulnerable, and it looks like we're going to take P4 away from him here. Can we do it? Waters versus Verstappen. Down the inside of turn 1. Verstappen tries to cover, but there was nothing he could do about that. We scythe past Max Verstappen, moving up into 4th. Oscar Piastri is next in 3rd, and the conditions are the worst they've been all race. The rain coming down heavy, the circuit absolutely drenched. I thought it was going to be a 10-minute shower, but actually the engineer got that one horribly wrong. It's teaming it down here as I start preparing for an attack on the Australian in the Papaya McLaren, and Piastri just does not look too confident at this stage, does he? He looks quite vulnerable. Verstappen has dropped back a second to us, and we've now got Piastri in our sights in the McLaren. And what a sprint race this has been. Can we grab one more place at the expense of Piastri? Going a bit deep there, but that might help us on the exit. Here we go. Waters versus Piastri now. Last time we took on Verstappen. This time we take on Piastri. I don't think we've quite got the momentum to do it, which we don't. And was Leclerc going for the lead there? He wasn't able to do it, unfortunately. Perez leads, and this is a coincidence because Perez leads this on the day that he's announced that he's been dropped, and Leclerc has had a look. I've made a mistake chasing Perez and watching the front. Verstappen is now going for it round the outside. I'm not going to let that happen. I see Verstappen off. Piastri's now got clear, but Leclerc was going off to Perez. So yeah, today IRL, Perez was announced to be dropped by Red Bull, and look at the rain now, it's really coming down, and Perez is clearly struggling with it. Leclerc is all over the back of him. I tell you what, Perez is really struggling, and I tell you what, this battle for 3rd may not be over. Oh, can I give myself the run on Oscar Piastri? Right at the end, I don't think we're going to be close enough to do it. No, we're not. And I think that would have ended my race. But what a race that has been. 21 laps. And it's Sergio Perez that wins the sprint. We take P4 though.
Take care of the car on the way in.
Oh, that was exciting, wasn't it? And for the first time, we beat Max Verstappen. Okay, it was only in the sprint. I will still take it.
Well, that's an end to the sprint action.
So that's 5 points to add to our tally then. There's your final top 8. Perez, Leclerc, Piastri, myself, Verstappen, Alonso, Ricciardo, Russell. I'm not too unhappy with that. We started 18th, so to finish 4th at the end, it was a difficult sprint, and that's what it does for the standings. It moves us up to 5th. We had a 6th and a 3rd with fastest laps, I think. So we had 16 and 9 points, 25. So an extra. No, okay. So we have somewhere I've gone wrong, but we got a 6th and a 3rd so far, and we got 29 points. So doing all right. We've now tied on points with Piastri. In fact, I think he might have jumped us there. But it's good to get some good points on the board in a sprint race. And now I look forward to the feature. It's going to be impossible to displace Verstappen, but I think we can catch him up. Right then. Let's move on. Here we go then. We're going to begin this Grand Prix.
As the drivers begin to climb into their cars down on the grid, the excitement is really building at this magnificent circuit. We're just about ready to go racing for today's Formula One Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit, and it's only DRS zone. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Hamilton, Russell, Zhou, Albon, Bottas, Ocon, Hulkenberg, the owner driver, Sargent, Magnussen, Gasly and Kamui Kobayashi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today, Anthony Davidson. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that it's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. Now, sadly, things didn't work out for them last time. It was a bad race.
What are you talking about?
Down here at the back, you've got the speed, you've got the car, so just take it easy and the race will come to you.
The hell is he talking about? Oh, it was a bad race. It wasn't that bad. Shut up. Right, so we're P18. We're going to start on mediums. It looks like a one-stop medium to hard race. But obviously, if safety cars and that come up, then we can play with the strategy. Right, we're underway here at Imola. And it's an okay start, but look at this. Logan Sargent just zooming off the line there. That was a great getaway. And now he heads into turn 1. He's got nowhere where he can go with his momentum. And we've really got nowhere to go with ours. So we've just got to settle in. Have a look at Sargent here. Is there a way through? Oh, I hit the grass there. I thought we were going round. Are we ahead? I think so. Right, let's not turn extreme left and wipe out Sargent like we did Ocon. And Gasly is alongside us there as well. So we've got to be careful. Not a bad opening lap. There's still a couple of cars that are going side by side. Sargent, oh, where you going, mate? Oh, round the outside there. You don't see that move, but you know what? We made it work. Although Sargent still staying side by side with me. And I'm kind of bullied him wide there. But we've moved up into P17. Gained a place on the first lap at this San Marino Grand Prix, or the Imola Grand Prix, or the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, whatever you know it as, depending on the eras that you've watched Formula One in. Lap 1 of 63 comes to an end. This is a long race, and at the moment it's led by Lando Norris, and at the moment P16 is occupied by Nico Hulkenberg, but we're going to change that as well. Okay, Nico, just make sure you leave me some room yet. Whoa! What is he doing? He gave me a whack there. Alright, Nico, bloody hell, I'll give you the space, but there's no need to whack into the side of my car. Anyway.
Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment. Just be careful.
Yeah, thanks, Hulkenberg. I hope your car's ruined. I am salty about that. I am a little bit upset. I was alongside him there, and I barely had any room anyway. And yet, of all the room he had, he still chooses to drive into the side of my car. I mean, alright, mate, you do you, I guess, but I don't really see the necessity for that. Anyway, end of lap 2. I'm done basically bashing about with the AI. It's time to try and settle down into this race and try and get through some of these guys. Lando Norris, another fastest lap, a 1 minute 20.0. I don't know what tyres everyone else has gone for. But now we're getting into the stage of the race where it's going to be difficult to pass. Albon's covering the inside. I'm going to go around the outside and make that move happen. P15 for us. It's like the sprint race all over again, just longer DRS trains and a longer race. Okay, so it's lap 3 of 63. We're up into P15. We've made some good ground at the moment. No thanks to Nico Hulkenberg. That's gonna be a thing all race now. I'm not letting that go. I just don't understand what that was. Anyway, we're now getting ready to shape up Zhou Guanyu. That was a late decision to commit to that one, but I kind of forced myself into the position where I had to commit to it. Luckily, it worked. Yes, I know the underbody is damaged. I can tell the underbody is damaged from the fact there is a little less grip available in the car. You don't need to tell me every 5 seconds that the underbody is damaged. I know the underbody is damaged. Let me race. Anyway, I don't want to hear 60 laps of your underbody's taken slight damage. I can tell. And unfortunately, that's something I have to deal with now till the end. Look at Lando Norris then. So, just can tell that on the map. Norris is stretching his legs out front, which he'll be wanting to do. He'll be wanting to try and get as far clear of Max Verstappen as possible, because Verstappen will be fast if he gets into clear air. I don't know where he currently is at the moment. I think he's somewhere in one of these trains up ahead. But right now, I'm too busy on the back of George Russell. And we're not going to make any... Oh, I was going to say, we're not going to make any late committing moves there. Your heart does sink at the end of lap 4 when you see 59 and you realise there's 59 laps to go. With the first few laps, you've done so much to avoid the heat of the traffic. You've done so much to not do what I nearly did there and smash into the back of Russell. You've had a few will-to-will moments. You've had your excitement. Now you're starting to settle down into the race, but your heart does sink when you see how far there is to go, because you think, how am I gonna keep going? How am I gonna keep this momentum going? Especially when you're stuck in a train like I am now. The thing is, when you're stuck in a train like this, you're aware of the time you're losing while you're losing it. I'm fully aware of Norris disappearing off into the distance. We're going to have a late send on Russell. The late send works. We're now up into P13.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
It's just, sometimes you've got to be chancy with it. Perez has got Piastri all over him. And I think those two have been fighting. Is that Perez or is that Verstappen? No, that is Perez. Verstappen's in 5th then, so he is very much within a train of his own, I think. And we're now getting ready to shape up Valtteri Bottas. It's a risky one, but I think we're just going to have to take it. And Bottas doesn't really fight me on that one, does he? Up into 12th then. Good going. Some good momentum here. We're doing nicely. We're doing nicely. Ooh, it's not the line I wanted. And they're backing up a bit there, so I wonder... Piastri's back ahead of Perez now, so they're obviously fighting quite hard. but that's allowing Lando Norris down the road, and he's just going to disappear off, isn't he? Lando's just going to, he's going to have his own race and disappear off. Right, here we go. I think there is a chance to have Stroll here. It's going to be a risky send again. Oh, I don't want to hit Tsunoda, and I don't. That's P11 now, so we're just outside the points. One more place, and we get into the points, and at the moment that place is being held by Yuki Tsunoda, and you can see Piastri is pretty much backing it all up, although I think Perez has dropped back a little bit to Piastri now. And we're not quite close enough to have a go at Tsunoda, so we might have to wait that one out. Fancied a little look, but nothing in doing there. So this whole train here is all behind Piastri. It's all behind Piastri and Perez. They're the ones that are leading this train, and it goes all the way down to what I think is 17th. So this whole train is 2nd to 17th, all in a line, and Lando Norris is just disappearing off into the distance. So Norris will be happy with that. Right, I'm starting to get slightly bored of looking at the rear wing of Yuki Tsunoda now. I want to get past. We're going to have to try and do it on the straight.
Gap to your teammate behind. 5.
Again, it's going to be a bit of a rescue. Oh, actually, no, we've got to run. We've got to run. Tsunoda's going to cover the inside. And Tsunoda's covered well. Well played, Yuki. Well played. Tsunoda covering that one nicely and not giving up easy. Although that does leave him vulnerable. No, it doesn't. Oh, Yuki Tsunoda covering well here. He is not going to be easy to pass. That does, however, break up the train, which is good news for us, because it's going to make it easier to get past Tsunoda down the straight, unless he catches up to the train. Although we've got a nice little run building here, we can brake a bit later, and we don't have to worry about Hamilton being there. And that's P10. We've taken Yuki Tsunoda, and Tsunoda's actually got pretty backed up by that. I don't think he was expecting me to go for it, and by the time he saw I was there, he really had to back out to avoid a collision. That's gravel. We don't want to be hitting that as we complete another lap. Lap 8 out of 63, and we are in the top 10, into the points. And like I said, this train is split now, so where obviously me and Tsunoda were racing quite hard, we've split that train. But now I need to recatch Lewis Hamilton. That's the only other problem now, because the DRS train will kind of be towing themselves along. And actually it looks like Piastri's caught Lando Norris a little bit there. It looks like Piastri's got a bit closer, so any chance that it's all going to Constantino a little bit here? This is a very fascinating Grand Prix in progress. We're 9 laps into it. And we have caught back up to Hamilton. But the good news is Tsunoda is over a second, 1.3 behind, so this train could fully split now. And now I'm considering Lewis Hamilton in front of me. Stroll, meanwhile, is considering Yuki Tsunoda, but I don't think we can't get past Hamilton. Stroll's gone for Tsunoda though. And if those guys can battle more, that'll be good news, because if I want a late pit stop and these guys are still in a train, I can make my way through them easily. Perez has moved up second now, and Norris got a bit further ahead, but it's backed up again with this train. And that's the problem. While second is battling so hard, it is backing this train up.
Okay, clear.
And there's a yellow flag behind. I don't want to hit Lewis. I'm not sure who it is. I think that's a Williams. I think that's going to be Albon dropping out. No, it's Tsunoda. Oh, that's unfortunate. Tsunoda dropping out of the race. No safety car or anything for that. So, green flag racing resumes. That was a cheeky little look on Lewis Hamilton. We're a little bit stuck where we are at the moment. Right now I'm getting a bit of a run on Lewis Hamilton. We're getting a run on the GOAT. Hamilton covers the inside. We're going to go to the outside. I'm going to make that move stick. Oh, Hamilton just... Wow, okay. I didn't expect it to be that easy, especially when I went that deep into the corner. I thought when I went that deep, Hamilton would have just sived back up the inside and retaken it, but Hamilton just completely backing out of that. I mean, it's whatever. It's thank you very much. I'll take the position, but wow, okay. He made that one easy, didn't he? Right. Next up is Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Not having a particularly strong race at the moment is Sainz. He's in P8, stuck behind Daniel Ricciardo. And already I'm starting a run on Carlos Sainz. Is it worth a look? Yes, it is. Down the inside we go. And that's P8 taken.
Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place.
The faster we can get past these guys, the faster we can get into some clear, track and see what we can do. We're 12 laps into the race now. So about a sixth of the way through. And it looks like there's some fighting going on ahead. I'm not sure who it is. I think Charles Leclerc has just been displaced by Max Verstappen. No, he hasn't. So I think Charles Leclerc was racing Perez, and that didn't work out for him. Piastri's now broken free of this little group, so that might help Piastri. Perez, I think, is back. I wonder if Perez has got a little bit of a problem. Someone's locked up there, but Perez has now backed away. Piastri's gone, and I just wonder now what is going on in this little train. Perez was quite comfortably fighting Piastri, but now Piastri's got clear. Norris is long gone, so Norris has got a massive lead now. And it's crucial that I start passing some of these. We're now on the back of Daniel Ricciardo. This is for P7. Ricciardo's going to cover the inside, but taking the outside just allows you to break that bit later. And we've taken P7 now. Perez has definitely not got the pace he had earlier, because everyone is now stacked up behind him. Piastri's pulling away. At the moment, we've got a McLaren 1-2 in this Imola Grand Prix. So it's completely different to what we've seen so far. So far, it's been the Max Verstappen show, but at the moment, he's only in 5th. And Alonso not seeming that confident there, was he? I think Alonso may be slightly vulnerable here. Perez is definitely slower around some of these corners than Piastri, because look at that, the gap is noticeably increasing. We're just sat patiently biding our time. It's a long Grand Prix.
Right, keep pushing. You're gaining on the car ahead.
So I think Leclerc's now trying to have a go at Perez. I think we're going to go for a late send on Alonso, and we do manage the late send on Alonso. He was caught napping there. Fernando Alonso didn't even try to fight that one. Probably didn't even know I was coming. And by the time he saw me there, it was way too late. So up into P6 we go. And now we've got Max Verstappen ahead of us once again. And an opportunity to beat Verstappen. Well, I will take that hands down. Because we need the championship points on him. We haven't had the strongest start to the championship. This race might be our best chance to claw some points back. Norris is a long way gone at this stage. But I tell you what, these three cars at the very least are vulnerable. Alright, are we going to be able to attack Verstappen this time? And is Leclerc going to get ahead of Perez this time? Look how close he is. Leclerc going to the outside, so surely Leclerc has got that done. I think he has got that done. Leclerc up into P3 now, and we weren't able to do anything about Verstappen. I mean, it would have been risky anyway. But Perez now in P4, and I just wonder, if team orders were a thing that they could implement into the game, is this the stage where they'd say to Perez, right, invert the cars, we're doing the old switcheroo here. I mean, the only thing I think they'd be saying to Perez right now is you're fired. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It absolutely will happen again. I'm not going to sit here and say I won't cast shade again. It absolutely will happen again. And Leclerc is now starting to get clear of Perez. So Perez is definitely not running at a great pace. Verstappen is now trapped right behind him. Problem is Perez is now going to have DRS of Leclerc. And Piastri, who was getting clear of this, is not exactly getting clear anymore. So trying to catch up to Verstappen, but we're just not catching him quick enough. We're here now, but the problem is the run would be risky, and I'd be risking driving straight into the side of Perez, so don't want to take any over risks and not have any points. So I'm just biding my time for now. And Norris isn't really pulling that much further clear either. We've got 7 people watching, so if you're in the chat, guys, say hello. I will read the comments as and when I can. It'd be lovely to hear from some of you. What are your thoughts on the Red Bull situation? Do let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If I get a bit of clear track, I'll be able to give mine. Right, Verstappen is going defensive here. We can attack Verstappen. We have attacked Verstappen, and Verstappen is demoted to 6th. So Max defending for no reason there, and that just sort of enabled my attack, and we've moved up into P5. So I don't know why Max defended nothingness essentially. But yes, do let me know. I want to know your thoughts on the Red Bull situation, and I will be having a discussion about my own thoughts when I get into some clear air. But right now we're all battling Oscar Piastri for second, and Charles Leclerc has really caught him. Verstappen has dropped back a little bit from us here. It's not going Max's way for the first time in this season's championship. Up the hill we go. lap 17 out of 63. And I'm about to attack Perez here. Is he going to make the same mistake as his teammate? No, he doesn't. But Perez, not quite as defensive there. But at the same time, he's dropping back from Leclerc and Piastri. It's worth a little look up the inside there. Perez doesn't seem too put off by that. This is going to get interesting now. Is Leclerc going to get Piastri? I think we can take Perez too. Leclerc's going for that. I think Leclerc's got it already. And I think we can take Perez here. Perez going very defensive. Not really leaving me the room. There is contact there. Perez still on the outside. I'm on the inside. Perez keeping that position. Verstappen has lost the place to Alonso, which I find very, very interesting. Perez, we should be able to take him down the inside here. And this time, we get past the Red Bull. And now Fernando Alonso is going to have a look. But we've lost time to Leclerc and Piastri in that. That's really done me no favours whatsoever. But Perez and Alonso are now a few attempts back. And I think we can... I don't think it's going to take us that long to stretch clear of them, because the pace is looking very good here. In fact, we've got that second clear. He can be Alonso's problem for now. Piastri is looking ready to go at Leclerc again. We're catching the pair of them. And that's a purple sector, so we're looking very, very fast here. Right, so lap 19 of 63. We've got a brief moment of respite
close the gap to the car ahead. It's currently 2 seconds
in which to just take stock of the race at the moment. We're in P4 and we've got quite a way to go yet. We're only about a third distance through the race. We're up into P4 and it's looking like a strong race. I definitely think a podium is on the cards here. Oh, that's not how you do that. I think I do have a moment now upon which I can get into my thoughts on the Red Bull situation. I mean, let's be real, it's not surprising that Perez has been dropped, because the performances just haven't been there, have they? Like, Checo has just not been delivering, and unfortunately F1 is a very cutthroat sport. You know, you're either performing, you're delivering, or you're drowning. There's no real in-between on that one. Excuse me, please. I am just going to take a brief intermission. Where's my drink? Oh, it's there. Just going to have a quick drink and then we will carry on the race. But yeah, you're either performing or you're really not. And I think Perez was really not performing. And obviously Red Bull have decided enough's enough and dropped him. I'm surprised that it didn't happen sooner. Like, I'm surprised they didn't elect to drop him mid-season like they did with Daniel Ricciardo. But they held on to him till the end of the season, and I actually looked this up, right? This is quite a depressing stat, but Sergio Perez hasn't led any laps in the 2024 season, and Esteban Ocon has led 14. Now, when you think about where Alpine was at the beginning of the season, it was considered the worst of all the cars. So the car that started this season as the worst, their driver, I'm going to pick up my bottle because I kicked it over. their driver led 14 more laps than Sergio Perez. It's a grim stat, really. And also the reality is, he did cost Red Bull the Constructors' Championship. Perez and Alonso battling it out for 5th in this race. But, yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see who they take, because at the point of doing this live stream, Red Bull haven't made a decision on who they're taking. Now, if it were up to me, I'd go with Tsunoda. Straight up, I would take Tsunoda, because he's been part of the Red Bull program for years. He's done really well. He's had a really strong season. He's always delivering, and you can count on Yuki to deliver and consistently deliver. Liam Lawson, I don't think, has anywhere near enough experience to be thrust into the top running team. And in fact, I think if you were to thrust Liam Lawson in there, you've got another Gasly and Albon situation where they're not delivering because they don't have enough experience. And because of that, they don't understand, how to handle the car and how to handle the pressure of being in a top running team. It's stuff that only experience can teach you, and I don't think Lawson has quite got the experience to be a driver in a top team yet. I think they should give Yuki a go, and if it's not working out with Yuki, then switch and that's when you give Liam Lawson a chance. Plus, I'll be honest, in the last few races, other than getting P9 on debut in Austin and starting from the back, I haven't really seen any justification to move Lawson into the top team ahead of Tsunoda, and I haven't really seen Lawson have a standout performance yet, so I don't know. As for who takes the other V-carb seat, I mean, I think that should either go to one of two drivers. I think Franco Colapinto does deserve to be in the sport. However, I do think Colapinto could benefit with another year of F2 experience. But if not Colapinto, then I think they should give the seat to Isaac Hadjar, who did very well in this season's F2 championship. Did kind of bottle it towards the end, but did really well up to a point. Right, this is Leclerc and Piastri battling for second now. Oh, where do I go here? I think I'm just going to back out and let this one play out. Oh, what are they doing? They're touching. They're rubbing each other. And whoever comes off worse here, I'm going to try and get past them. Oh, this does not look good at all. Piastri's on my outside. I'm going around the outside now. On the right hand, and we got past Oscar Piastri and move into third. Oh, I was worried how that was going to end, because freeway fight there, that did not look good at all. And now we're up into P3 in this Imola Grand Prix, and we're about to start hunting down Lando Norris if we've got the legs. Currently all over the back of Charles Leclerc. It's surprising that Norris has only gotten 8 odd seconds up the road though. I really would have thought Lando, with everyone battling as they have, would have gotten a bit further up the field. Here we go then, this should be easy pickings on Leclerc.
16.1 seconds.
Right, not that easy. Is Leclerc going to defend? Where's he going? Oh, he's taking the middle of the circuit there. Leclerc defending that, and we have another lap to wait before we get past Charles Leclerc. Piastri right there too, waiting in the wings in case this goes horribly wrong. But at the moment, it's not looking like it will. And the Tifosi, well, they'll be hoping that Charles Leclerc holds on second. But yeah, I think Hadjar should take the other V-carb seat. And I think Colapinto should be considered for 26. There, that's my thoughts. Also, we have the new Cadillac team coming in. And I really do think that there's going to be a comeback for Daniel Ricciardo there. Highly marketable driver for a new team. And I think they might move over someone from IndyCar as well. Maybe Colton Herta. They've had those talks going on for a while. Right, where are we? Lap 24. 40 laps to go, including this one. It's about to be 39. We're about heading into the mid-stage of this Grand Prix. We've quietly moved up, haven't we? It's just been sneaking it so far. We're closer to Leclerc this time. Surely the move is done. It's a done deal. Leclerc goes defensive. We're going to go to the outside. And, well, that wasn't really a contest, was it? Leclerc down into P3 now, and we move up in second. So now we get to see what we can do about Lando Norris. If there is anything we can do about him, it's 8.5 at the moment. That's my thoughts on the Red Bull situation. Oh, okay. Gotta be careful now. Exceeding track limits, that's a warning. I think we can catch Norris here, you know. We were 8.6, we're now 8.2. Norris is very catchable in this race. I'm going to try and save a bit of overtake. So I think, although Norris is catchable, I think I want to save overtake. I want to be prepared for this. And Perez is battling Alonso once again, albeit a few seconds behind. I'm really surprised at how bad it's been for Verstappen in this race. I'm really surprised that the Red Bull pace just hasn't won out here. It's going to be an interesting second half of this race. It's going to be interesting to see, as I'm starting to lose the best of the tyres, if we can catch up to Norris. These tyres are definitely wearing now though. I've been on them 26 laps and they just don't feel great anymore. I don't think I'm going to be able to save as much overtake this time because Charles Leclerc is coming back at me and I want to be able to defend that position. Right, so let's get off the corner. I'm not going to immediately hit overtake him. Well, actually, no, I think I should, because Leclerc's coming at me here. Is that going to be enough to stop him having a go? Yes, it is. So we've held Leclerc off. I've gone deep into one. And Lando Norris still 8.5 seconds ahead as Alonso, who has the fastest lap, is racing Perez once again. That's not how you do that. I really thought we were going more wide than we went there. But as a result of us starting to struggle on the tyres, Norris is pulling away. And Leclerc is all over the back of me. He is not giving this one up. I'll tell you who I think has given up, and that's Max Verstappen. I don't know where he is in this race, but he's not near the front. Where's my teammate? Teammate status.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 18.9 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 20th place. And the time last lap, 1:21.9.
That's quite sobering that 20th place is only 18 seconds behind. Here we go. Charles Leclerc might come back at me here. So this is Leclerc coming back. I've got no defence for that. There's nothing I could have done. Leclerc moving up into second place in the Ferrari, and Leclerc retakes P2. And Piastri's all over me here. But this is the lap we're boxing, so we're boxing this lap for hard tyres. I tell you what, I was really tempted to go for a Senna there. Leclerc, not really having a lot of momentum there, was he? He suddenly seemed to lose just a bit of time. Oh, Leclerc's definitely struggling with his tyres. Oh, that's a bit of a front wing.
Okay, be careful with the front wing. You've taken
And now going around the outside of Leclerc. Leclerc has got no answer for that. And we are past him. No, I am going to repair my front wing, I think, though. I think I am going to repair that because that damage might hurt me later. So even though we've gone through all that to pass Leclerc, I'm going to fix the front wing. Norris electing not to pit, but we've pitted, so...
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Is that going to be worth an undercut? Who else pits? Alonso pits. Verstappen stays out. Sainz stays out. So we do have a new front wing waiting for us. Just because, yes, that little bit of damage might affect us.
Okay, let's go now. Come on.
And in fact, we haven't really lost anything. We're still in P4, so... Or what is effectively P4. Hey, we could have a red flag. Now that would throw everything in chaos, especially as half the pack haven't pitted, including Verstappen. And Verstappen, well, if this red flag gets thrown on this lap, he is the luckiest son of a bitch known to man. However, I don't think we're going to get a red flag on this lap unless we're extremely unlucky. I tell you what, Leclerc and Piastri, though, they're getting backed up by a Sauber. That might help us out. So all in all, a decent pit stop. We've got the tyres that we're taking to the end of the race. It's lap 29 of 63. And, yeah, it's time to try and re-catch Piastri and Leclerc. Leclerc really seeming to struggle going through Acqua Minerale last time we did, and as a result I think that's why he was so slow and why we lost a bit of our front wing on him. Alonso staying with me, as is Perez. More drivers in the pits now. I think we'll see the Sauber dropping in. I've got a bit more overtake that I can use to try and catch up to these guys.
8.4 seconds.
And yep, Verstappen's still in the pits. We're still in 5th though. So a couple of cars still haven't pitted. Who hasn't pitted? Race director. It's Ricciardo who hasn't pitted, and actually Ricciardo's the only one. Once Ricciardo pits, we'll move up into 4th. And once again, we have Leclerc and Piastri to overtake. Leclerc and Piastri to navigate. About halfway through this race now. It's been quite a fun race so far. It's been a bit of a slow burn. Well, I wouldn't even say it's been a slow burner. It's been quite fun all the way through. I've really enjoyed this so far. Even though we took damage, that doesn't really faze me that much because we can fix it. And now we're looking very, very fast. We've caught these two quite rapidly. And there's Lando Norris, so I don't know what the gap to him is, but I get the feeling we're going to find out. We're all over... Look at this! All over Piastri already. He's not going to have a defence for this. We're about a second faster than Leclerc there. Piastri will not have a defence for this. We're going round the outside, and, well... that was as easy as they come, wasn't it? Although Leclerc's now trying to get clear of DRS. But we are super fast at this stage of the race now. And that's going to be worrying Lando Norris just a little bit. He's going to want Daniel Ricciardo there, holding us up as long as it takes. Who's still watching then? Let me know who's still there. I've seen a couple of comments. We're now chasing down Charles Leclerc. This is going to be an easy move. There's Norris, so Norris is quite a way ahead. But Piastri's now, well, we're 1 second clear of Piastri. And now we're up to Charles Leclerc. But again, I can't see what defence he's really going to have for us. He goes to the left, but we're already getting it done by the braking spot. Up into P3 now, which will become P2 when Ricciardo pits.
Nice move. Good
And
job.
the fastest lap we set, well, that's going to have Lando Norris just a bit worried. The gap is 11.3 seconds, and we've set a PB in Sector 1. So the question now remains, can we get clear of Leclerc and then hunt down Lando Norris? He's got 11 seconds. And that's quite a big gap in F1 terms, but he might have been hoping that was enough. 10.7, now it was 11 seconds, so we are catching Lando Norris. And I think there will just be a little bit of worry in the Papaya garage. Daniel Ricciardo, does he actually pit yet? No, he doesn't. So Ricciardo going long. I'm interested in what his strategy is.
19.8 seconds.
Very interested in what Ricciardo's strategy is and how he's going to make that work. But the gap to Norris now 10.6 seconds. That's come down by half a second. So if we can catch Norris half a second every lap, we'll be there in the 50s, but I think we'll be there sooner if we keep pushing. I mean, if we keep catching at the rate we're catching, like I said, we'll be there by the 50s. So Lando's, it's going to be an interesting end to this one. It's not quite won and paid for Norris yet. That was a good sector for us as well. Does Ricciardo? Now, the only problem we could have is Daniel Ricciardo, so I'm going to be hoping he pits soon. But when he does pit, he's going to be super fast, isn't he? Ricciardo not yet pitting. The gap to Norris is now 9.9 seconds, so another 6/10 of a second out of Norris's lead. If we keep catching at this rate, we will have a fight for the lead on here. We've pulled 1.3 clear of Leclerc now, so Leclerc no longer in the fight for second, no longer in the DRS. This is now me throwing everything into catching the Papaya McLaren in front. Game on here at Imola. Let's apply the pressure. We've got 30 laps to go, just under half the race to go, and the gap to catch Lando Norris. The only potential mobile chicane in our way could be Daniel Ricciardo, and in Sector 2 we're taking half a second alone out of Lando Norris. Although we made a slight mistake there, which will lose us a couple of attempts. But in Sector 2, we gained half a second. That is going to be weighing on his mind. Daniel Ricciardo still not pitting, but we cleared Leclerc by another second that lap. And it's now 9.3, so another 6/10 out of Lando's lead. This gap is coming down. This is game on here at Imola. As long as we don't throw it off the circuit, game on. If you're watching this, viewers, just go. If you're watching this, viewers, and you're still here, I'd advise yourselves to make a cup of tea right now and give yourselves a few minutes for this to catch up, because this is building into a big finish. Daniel Ricciardo could be a thorn in my side here though. I'm hoping he pits soon. I'm surprised he stayed out this long. And actually this time round we didn't gain that much on Lando Norris. But that was a better run through the chicane. And if Ricciardo doesn't pit this lap, he is going to give me a little bit of a headache. And he doesn't pit this lap, but that could actually work for us, because we could get a free bit of DRS down the straight. Half a second gained on Norris that time. The gap now 8.8 seconds. It's still coming down, and we're still going to catch him by the 50s. No question about it. So this is definitely on here at Imola. This is game on into the final laps of the race, and we've got our second track limits warning, so I've got to be careful now. It's just showing you how hard I'm pushing. 8.8 seconds to Lando Norris, so Norris set to 1, stalemate. But this is where we're pulling it back. This is where we're fast. In sector 2, particularly through Aqua Minerale. And we're quite good through there as well. Another 4 attempts taken on Norris. And this is where Ricciardo could be a thorn in my side, but I don't think he'll be difficult to overtake if he does elect to stay out. That'll give us free DRS, and that's going to give Lando Norris an even bigger headache than what he's dealing with right now. Leclerc, 4 seconds behind us, so Leclerc, nothing to do with this battle anymore. Ricciardo's tyres are screwed, and here we go. Surely this should be an easy pass on Ricciardo. If he makes this one difficult, I'll be surprised, but we're not catching him at the rate I thought I would, but I am going to send this one down the inside. I'm not waiting it out for him, and we have overtaken Daniel Ricciardo. Relatively straightforward, 8.2 is the gap, so another few attempts taken out of Norris's lead, and now Ricciardo right behind me, but I don't think there's going to be anything he can do immediately. Leclerc 3.7 now, so he's dropping back too. We're a little bit wide out of the exit there, and that's cost us a few attempts to Norris, so we've not had a good lap so far, but now we've got clear air. Now it's nothing between myself and Norris, and it's just all about, can we catch him? We've now got a second clear of Ricciardo. I don't know what he's doing. Like, surely he's going to need to be in soon. Despite losing a tenth or two to Norris in the first sector, we've actually somehow ended up gaining. So the gap, I think it was about 8 seconds to Norris at the end of the last lap. It's 7.8, so we've still gained a couple of attempts. We did have to navigate Daniel Ricciardo, but now we're clear of him, and it's just all clear track between us and Norris now. And there's 26 laps remaining. Lap 38 of 63 here at Imola. We're in P2, and we're chasing down Lando Norris for a first victory of the season. It'll be a first win for either one of us, whichever one of us takes it. Norris will be wanting it to be getting himself into the fight with Verstappen. So will I. I actually made a mistake there into Aqua Minerale, so that's cost me a little bit. So that's given Norris a bit of relief. But that relief won't be lasting long. We're still coming at him. But Norris, I think, has responded. I think Norris has responded. And in fact, that lap, he's actually pulled away a little bit from us. What is Daniel Ricciardo doing, though? Is he going to pit soon? You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Our teammate by 26.4 seconds.
8 seconds to Norris, 25 to go. We've gained about 3 seconds on him so far in this charge. Sector 1, stalemate. But that's how it has been for a while. Sector 1 is a bit of a stalemate between myself and Norris, but I've just set a PB. .8, 7.9. No mistakes in Aqua Minerale this time. And the gap starts to come down again. I mean, even if we get there, catching is one thing, passing is another, as the late great Murray Walker used to say. And Daniel Ricciardo now doing his bit to hold up Charles Leclerc. .6 to Norris, so this time round we gained 4 tenths of a second, and Ricciardo finally electing to pit. He will be quite quick at this stage now though, because his tyres are going to be about 12 laps younger, whatever he puts on. Sector 1 is advantage Norris by a tenth. You get the feeling that Norris right now is just about doing what he can to try and hold on. I do think we will catch him by the mid-50s, however, at the pace we're running. And the gap is coming down at 7.2 seconds now. As long as we keep doing what we're doing, I can't see any reason why we don't catch him before the end of the race. 7 seconds this time round. Going to be under 7 seconds, I think. We've done a 19.0. Our fastest lap, don't forget, is an 18.6. And that's still the fastest lap of the race. But I have a feeling Daniel Ricciardo might just have that off me. So the gap was 7 seconds at the end of the lap. Sector 1, Norris gains 2 tenths. So Norris finding some momentum in Sector 1. We're now 6 seconds clear of Leclerc, so Leclerc nowhere near this fight, and in fact he's pulled clear of Piastri. So P3 and 4 I think are looking, obviously barring any mistakes and any failures, P3 and I'd say Leclerc's pretty locked in at P3. The question is, how is P1 and P2 going to work out? 6.3 to Norris, so this has been a mighty time by me. Last time it was 7 seconds. We've gained 6 tenths again on Lando Norris. We're really starting to bring that gap down now. And every lap that gap is getting smaller and smaller. So despite losing time in the first sector, we still managed to have a big gain on that lap. Alonso and Perez are still fighting for 5th, so I think that's going to be the big fight that goes on in the top 5. I'm surprised we haven't seen a fastest lap come up for Daniel Ricciardo yet. Haven't caught Norris by as much this lap. The gap is only down by 3 tenths of a second. So Norris, I think, just... Again, I think he has these laps sometimes randomly where he tries to respond, but he's just not. He's not good enough to respond with.
Gap to your teammate behind, 32.2 seconds.
I think I am inevitably going to catch Norris by the end of this Grand Prix. And the battle for fifth rages on. So the first half of the race was all about the battles through the field. The second half of the race is the hunt for Lando Norris. And that gap still coming down. It's 5.6 now. So 4 tenths this lap. And I see him. I saw him coming out of the second left-hander there. Just about starting to see Lando Norris in my sights. And that's going to activate the inner bloodhound in me now. I've got the scent of the wind here. I've got the scent and I'm chasing it down. I'm surprised Piastri hasn't got more clear of Perez and Alonso. Piastri's pace in this half of the race just hasn't really existed, has it? Like, Piastri's just kind of... The McLarens were 1-2 at one stage, and Piastri was pulling away from Perez and co. But yet, as it's transpired, Piastri's pace has really dropped off in the second half of this Grand Prix. So, I'm surprised to see him fall back as much as he has. I at least thought he'd be in the fight with Leclerc for P3, and he just hasn't been there. So there's a surprise. I can see more of Norris this time. The gap's down by another 4 tenths of a second. I think, like I said, we're going to get there in the 50s. We're currently on lap 44, beginning lap 45, and I think in the 50s we will be there. Either way, we're going to do it before the end of the Grand Prix. We're still doing it at quite a good rate. But again, Piastri's really not got that clear of Perez. I'm surprised at how much his pace has fallen off. Leclerc, meanwhile, solid job in P3. He looks good for a podium. I don't know any of the other top 10 positions, and I have no idea where Max Verstappen is. I assume he's either 6th or 7th. But even so, considering that he has owned this season so far, it's surprising that he's not really, at least between myself and Norris. So, not really the race for Verstappen as we make another mistake there. The gap has only come down by a couple of attempts to Norris this time. So, Lando... I don't know, I just think Lando finding a bit more pace now. We were catching by 6 tenths a lap. It's now round about 3 or 4 tenths a lap. And actually, at the rate of under half a second a lap, we might just run out of laps before...
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by
as you know, at the rate of just under half a second a lap, it will be the mid to late 50s that we catch up to him, or at least that we get into DRS range. There we go, Alonso and Perez swapping places again. The other thing I wonder is lap traffic going to have any part in this? I haven't seen any yet. That's one of the perks of having equal car championship though, where the cars are so equal. Rarely do you see cars getting lapped. It's only, I think, at circuits like Sao Paulo or some of the smaller circuits on the calendar where you actually see traffic. This has been a better lap for us now. I said Norris. I said Norris had potentially responded. Well, this is my response to his response. And now we take 6/10 out. Right, brief pause, take a drink. And back to the race we go. The gap, 4 seconds now. And we've got 17 laps to go. We have really been working hard to bring this gap down. And I can see him in my sights again. However, one major mistake could undo all that hard work and be the difference between finishing first or second. Norris a couple of tenths quicker this lap then, so Norris again finding a little bit of a response. Very much toing and throwing out there. And when I say toing and throwing, I mean some laps I'll gain like 6/10 of a second. And then there'll be the odd couple of laps where I'll gain 2, 3, 4/10 of a second because Lando's found a better lap, but it's not been enough to slow down the momentum, as it were. It's not been enough to stop me catching. It's 3.5 seconds now. So we are getting back into that range now where we're starting to take about half a second a lap out of him. He's in my sights, I can see him. And Verstappen moves into 5th, so there's Max. He's obviously got clear of Perez and Alonso now, and Verstappen into 5th. But I think he will still lead the championship after this race. It's only one bad race from Max, calm down. Another couple of green sectors from us. Norris is really starting to appear in my sights now. And I think this has been one of those better laps where we've taken quite a chunk of time out of his lead. We've just done an 18.8, so we're back in the 18s for the first time in a while. I'm actually just going to do something now. I'm not feeling quite so confident about our fastest lap where it is, so I'm just gonna back off on the ERS power for now, and then go for a hot lap to try and just get that fastest lap up. Norris might gain a couple of attempts here, but I feel like when we smash the fastest lap out, we'll gain that straight back, so I feel like we have enough residual pace to do that.
Okay, the car ahead is 3 seconds up on you, keep pushing.
Here we go then, I'm now going for a fastest lap of the race. And already you can see the gap coming down to Norris by a good couple of tenths there. And that was a lovely first sector. Green time, that's what we want. Up the hill. Well, this is where we make the time, just in this sector here. I really want to raise the bar on this fastest lap because I don't feel like it's safe. But in doing that, we're now 2 seconds behind Lando Norris. So, I tell you what, this is the definition of 2 birds, 1 stone. Surely this is going to raise the fastest lap, and it does, a 1:18.3. So, we're up 3/10 on our current fastest lap, and that just raises the bar that little bit. Also, right, back into this race. I went a bit deep there, but we're 2.4 behind Norris now. Really starting to apply the pressure. He's had a much better first sector here, though. Give him his credit there, but we're now really starting to close up on the Papaya McLaren in front of us. Leclerc is now long gone. Verstappen might have a go at Piastri here, so that's my one bit of interest in this race, aside from the battle for first. Will Piastri lose that to Verstappen? And look at the gap coming down to Norris now. You can visibly see the gap coming down. Two seconds is the gap now. And the pressure is well and truly on. I said we'd catch him in the 50s. We're on lap 51 now, and the gap is just under 2 seconds. Norris just hanging on at this stage. "12 laps to go here, and they're going to be the longest 12 laps of his career." The sun is now bursting out here at Imola, so should be an interrupted run to the end unless we get a safety car intervention. And I think that'd be Lando's worst headache now, is if we do get a safety car. If we get a safety car, I'll be honest, I'm pitting in for softs. Ooh, that was a bit of a mistake there, pushing very hard, but the gap is now 1.6. You can see him there. And it's really coming down now. It's really coming down. Couple of laps and we'll be inside the DRS. If we both take each other out, Verstappen gets a podium. That's a depressing thought there. So hopefully we keep it's clean, this fight. I have every intention of keeping it clean. .2, we might even find ourselves in the DRS at the end of this lap. There's Norris, there we are. 0.8 DRS zone. That is where we're at. We are in Norris's DRS zone, and we could attack for the lead as soon as this lap. There's Norris. Here we are, we're 0.7 behind. It's quite a way behind. That'll be ambitious to do this time round, but we're getting closer, we're getting closer. The overtake is helping, the DRS is helping, but we're not there yet. Not close enough. But now we are right behind Lando Norris with 10 laps to go. So we got 10 laps to figure out how we're going to do this. And I nearly lose the car there. Hitting the grass. That was scary.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 45.6 seconds.
We're just in another league to every other driver in this race at the moment. Such is the pace we've had. Verstappen is catching Piastri quite rapidly, but here it is. This is the battle you've been waiting for. And Norris just appears to be struggling, doesn't he? He really appears to be struggling, and I don't think this is going to be a difficult overtake. We've gone wide there. Out of the final corner, right, this is it. We've got the run on Norris. Overtake, DRS. Can we do it here? Norris covers, we go to the outside. Side by side we go. And it's done before turn one, and we take the lead. Here in Imola on lap 55 out of 63. Norris not able to hold that one off. And we now take the lead with 9 laps to go. But there's still 9 laps remaining and anything can happen. Hey, I could throw it all off yet. Anything goes in the closing stages here in Imola. But we've been able to get past Lando Norris and secure ourselves the lead. And we've only got a few laps left to go. And Norris already out of DRS, so I think Norris just beginning to struggle with those tyres. I think he was pushing hard to try and keep me behind, but he's really struggling with his tyres now, and we've just kept ours in quite nicely. 1.2 is the gap, 1.3 is the gap now. So Norris just not able to do anything about us there. 7 to go. Well, we hunted, and then we took. It was over quite quickly. Although Norris now clawing back in, so it's not all done yet, but we hunted him down and we got past him. And in the end, there wasn't really much he could do to hold me back. We've just had amazing pace around here. The car has felt amazing. Well, that was a mistake, but still the car has felt amazing. And as we head towards the end of the race, this is a Grand Prix meeting that we have had not only points in the sprint, but a win in the feature. It's been the best of the season, hasn't it? The season didn't get off to the most promising starts, but here at Imola, it's looking better. As the gap is now 1.6 seconds, so we pulled out 3/10 on Norris. Whoa! Okay, I felt that slide then. I was brave to keep my foot in the throttle there. But, however, like I said, I felt that slide, and I felt my life flash in front of me. I don't think Verstappen is going to catch Piastri now. I think they're pretty much locked in. So I think the top 5 now looking pretty locked in, unless mistakes or car failures. And we've just got 6 laps left to run. 5 laps to go here at Imola. And what a race it's been. It's been very enjoyable. But as we now head into the closing stages, I'm just focusing on bringing the car home. I'm also starting to feel quite tired. It does take it out of me doing these 100% races, and obviously streaming them at the same time. But it's fun. It's a load of fun. I enjoy doing it, and yeah, it's just been good. So we started P18, slowly snuck our way through the field, and then just after our pit stop, that's when we started hunting down the 11-second gap that we had to Lando Norris, and hunt him down we did. And then on lap 55, we took the lead after catching him for about 25 laps, and took the lead of this race. And since then, well, I mean, it's only been 4 laps, but we haven't lost the lead, and it's just looked very good for us. Now I am going for another fastest lap, just to try and up the bar once again. I just want to make sure that we can come back with the fastest lap and get the full haul of 26 championship points. Every point counts in a championship, and I want all 26 of them. I thought we were going to lose it there when I hit the left-hand side. Luckily the car could take it. Luckily the tyres could take it. However, I did worry for a second that we couldn't. Purple first, that's exactly what we want. Oh, hello. Alonso's retaken 5th off Verstappen. Even better news for me. And even more reason to push hard. Oh, we got a... Ah! That could be annoying. Right, okay, we got to keep our gap over 3 seconds. Pushing too hard to get fastest lap and extend it, and that's now given us a 3-second penalty. Right, I've got to be careful here because Norris is 3.4 behind. I've said the fastest lap. I don't think that'll count, but anyway. Lando 3.4 behind now. Right, this is it. It's not over yet. If Norris can get within 3 seconds of me, he wins this race. So, by all means, this is not over yet. And me going for fastest laps, well, I've just made it that much more difficult for myself. And Verstappen retakes 5th, just to add to my pain. I tell you what, Norris is now there waiting, and he's gonna go all out, and we've gone off the circuit there, pushing hard, try and make sure that he doesn't catch. I mean, I think we're fast enough anyway that he won't. But oh my gosh, that has added another element to this Grand Prix that I did not want there. I was hoping for a stress-free run to the end. We got 2 laps here, so 2 laps to hold 0.8 of a second. And if we hold it, we win. If we don't, Lando Norris takes the win. And it's not the first time I have lost a race to Lando Norris owing to having a penalty. If anyone's watched my career mode series, we finished first on track in Las Vegas in season 1, but where I got a 3-second penalty right at the end, it cost me the race, ironically to Lando Norris. Right, I don't think we need to go for a fastest lap anymore. I think we've got it secured. However, I am going to push for one more hot lap just to keep Lando away. Oh, we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Someone's had a moment there. I can't see what's happened. But whatever's happened, it's gone now. It's not an issue. As we begin this last lap here at Imola now, this hot lap isn't to secure fastest lap. It's to make sure that we pull away from Norris. And actually, he's gained 4 tenths in that first sector. Norris on a mighty lap here. Is he going to take this win from me? Norris pushing like crazy. But I think we should just about hold it here. We got 1.2 seconds to the good as we attack the final chicane. And I think we have done enough here to win here in Imola. I don't know what happened in turn 1, but it's all clear. And as we complete the final lap, it's going to be the first win of the season in the Sequel Car Championship. I will take that. Let's go. Come on. P1, baby.
Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
It's a performance that our Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix winners can be justifiably proud of. And I'm sure there'll be celebrations tonight.
You always look back at a race like this and think, if I'd just made that mistake there or locked up here, there would have been contact. And every one of those overtakes is a moment where you have to absolutely nail it, perfect it, and that's exactly what they're able to do today. Great stuff indeed.
Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Didn't make it easy, did you, said Mr. Radiation. No, I didn't. I could have done without giving myself the 3-second penalty. But in the end, it was still quite, well, I'd say quite comfortable. It was 1.7 seconds that could have made the difference between first and second. So definitely not making it easy, but I'm happy to take that win nonetheless. 26 points. Norris gets second, Leclerc gets third, Piastri fourth. Like I said, I'm really surprised that his pace dropped off the way it did. Verstappen gets fifth, Alonso gets sixth, Perez seventh, Sainz gets eighth, Russell ninth, and Lance Stroll completing the top 10. So what does that do for the championship standings? That moves us up to fourth. And that puts us only 16 points behind Max Verstappen. And that also moves Lando Norris up to within 7 points of Verstappen. So if Lando had taken the win, Norris would have been tied on points to Verstappen if he'd finished ahead of me. But Verstappen would be leading the championship on countback, as he's had 2 feature race wins and Lando has had just the 1. So Charles Leclerc now sits third in the Drivers' Championship, 15 points off of the lead. We're fourth, 16 points behind. So it's quite close between the front four, and Verstappen not having a great race here has helped close it up a bit. I don't know if Verstappen will look better in the next race and it'll shuffle things back in his favour again, but for now it's closed things up a treat. Piastri's 5th, Sainz is 6th, Perez 7th, Alonso 8th, Russell and Ricciardo completing your top 10 at this stage of the championship, with Hamilton, Tsunoda, Kobayashi, Hulkenberg, Albon and Stroll the final of your point scorers. And in the Constructors' Championship so far, it's McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, us. So Red Bull not looking particularly strong there, again thanks to one driver carrying and the other just lagging a bit. Mercedes are 5th, Aston are 6th, V-Carb currently 7th, and then Haas and Williams, the only other 2-point teams that have scored. Right, well, we will be back with the next race of... I've just seen what the next race is going to be as well. We will be back with the next race of Equal Car Championship in the new year.
Welcome everybody to Saudi Arabia. It's practice here today at the Jeddah.
And it will be Jeddah that we visit. So next time up in the new year for this series will be Jeddah. There are further live streams on other games coming up this week. We are doing, well, I don't want to give it all away, but we've got a couple of things lined up. But this is the last of the Equal Car Championship. I will be looking at live streaming some Fortnite when Winterfest comes into play, or clipping some of it. I don't know whether I'll stream it or clip it. Where I'm also looking at doing some more Among Us. That's coming. I've seen that you guys like Among Us, okay? So it's coming. It's coming. I do hear you. And maybe some surprises along the way. But that is your lot for Equal Car Championship until January. And until the next upload, I have been Joe. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like. Hit subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more content from me. Until the next time, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all very soon.